Alright, so I'm going to clean up some of these dimension lines and dimensions. So a few things you can do. First thing is if I just click once, I can move my dimension. If I hover over my extension line and right click, there we go. I can move my extension line to wherever location I need it. So I'm going to move this. So it's giving me a different icon. I can move dimension line. Select the move dimension line. I'm going to move it to right there. And I'm going to select this and move that down a little bit to right there. And it is giving me the 3.5 right here, and that's giving me the width in between these. So I can, if I don't want that there, erase it. Okay, so anyways, let's go and change this to, just double click this. Let's get my select tool. I'm going to double click this, and I want to change this to, let's do 13 feet 8 inches. I don't have to type in inches, it's going to default to inch. And I want to move this wall. If I move this right wall, what's going to happen is it's going to mess up this dimension. So I'm going to say I want to move that wall right there. Next thing is I want to click on this dimension. I want to make this room 8 feet wide. And once again, I'm going to move the wall to the left. And I'm going to make this should be 12 feet. It is. I want to make this height of this room 7 feet 6 inches. So I'll type in 7 feet 6. And I want to move this bottom wall. So I'm going to select the bottom wall. So now I'm back to that, and I want to move that dimension line because it is driving me crazy. So let's move it all the way over here. Alright, and I'm going to move this dimension line too. Move it to right there. I want this dimension to be, I'm going to make that 14 5.5, and it is, so we're good. So now notice my dimensions didn't change. Everything still should match up with me. Remember, if I control Q, it'll make this much cleaner. But I'm going to keep it on so that it's easier to view right now. So what I'm going to do right now is I am going to hit Control Q and make those dimensions smaller. I'm going to go ahead and put in the kitchen. So I'm going to put in a bathtub, a toilet, and a sink. So what I'm going to do is come up here to Symbol, and I'm going to do bathroom, and from there it's going to give me all these options. What I could do is type in bathtub. We'll do bathtub. We'll do bathtub left. It doesn't matter which one that you select. I can look at it 3D if I want to get an idea of what that looks like. Click OK. And I'm going to select right here so I can move it however I need. I'm going to put it right there where I think it needs to be, and then from there what I can do is right click and move. So it's going to pop up and give me dimensions. So right now it's saying I am 3/8 of an inch from that wall, and I'm 5 feet. So I can actually double click on this. I want to make that 0, let's say, and I want to move the tub. So now the tub is 0 there, and I'm going to make it, click here, I want to make that 0, and I'm going to move the tub, not the wall. Alright, now I can just hit enter, escape, and I don't need to hit enter, sorry. And hopefully my dimensions didn't change. My tub is located properly. Other features that you can do, select this tub, is I can hit F12, and that's going to allow me to use my arrows, and it will move it 1/8 of an inch at a time. So now I'm going to add a toilet. So let's grab a toilet. It's actually already selected. Put the toilet in. What I can do is come to my move tool, and can actually just grab, do it that way instead of right clicking. So I'm just going to select my toilet. And once I get close, I'm 3/8 of an inch off the wall. What I'm going to do is actually just use my arrow keys. Once I get it where I need to, I'm going to left click once, and now right click, and I'm out of that tool. Okay. Next thing I want to do is I am going to add some extension lines so that I can dimension something, or dimension this toilet away from this wall a set distance. Before I can put my extension line in, I notice that I want to move this extension line out of the way because it does look like it's centered. So remember, if I just hover over there and say move dimension line, I can move that out of the way real quick. Alright, so I'm going to go to extension format, and I want to grab my symbol, and it's at edge right now, so it would pick one of the edges of the symbol. I want to go to the center of that. You'll see what I mean. So now I can grab single extension. I can select this toilet, and I just put an extension line in right there. Next thing is I want to dimension between this extension line and this wall. So now, right now it's telling me from this wall right here, even though that's actually a window, it's 2 feet 3 5/8 of an inch. I'm going to make that 1 feet 4 inches. So what I do is double click that and say 1 foot 4 inches, and I want to move. And if I select up, it's going to do that wall. I want to move the actual toilet, and now it moved it. Now you can see my dimension is kind of in a bad place. So I'm going to select that dimension, and I'm going to say, let's move that right there. Okay, it's still kind of ugly, but that's fine for right now. So the next thing I want to do is put in a pedestal sink. So let's do symbol, and then let's do bathroom. Let's make that a little bigger. Let's scroll through until we find pedestal sink. So I'm just going to select that one right there, and I'm going to put that one in there real quick. Grab my move tool. Let's move that up against the wall. So right now I see there's an issue is when this door swings open, it's going to hit that vanity. So that pedestal sink. So let's move the door. So all I have to do is right click, and it does have right now the interior door. Sometimes you can grab that dimension. You don't want to grab the dimension. I'm going to say move, and I'm going to move this over. Realistically, I would probably have it open somewhere right around there, but let's just move it out of the way to right there for now. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and put in a ceiling fan. So let's go to my electrical plan. There it is. And I'm going to say electrical symbols, select a ceiling fan, click OK. Click once, it's going to put in there, and then you have to click again to kind of stabilize it. I'm going to put in, not stabilize it, keep it there. I'm also going to do, let's go miscellaneous and select a switch. So we'll select OK, and let's put that switch on this wall. So let's zoom way in. So there we go. So I selected it. Now that is where it needs to be. You can put it anywhere you really want it to. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect this to my switch. So I'm going to say arc connected. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to make sure I grab my switch. And I'm just going to draw an arc in there real quick. Okay, so notice real quick that if I go to my drawing, there's my electrical. If I just go to electrical, I can actually see the detailed connection there. So let's say I have a ton of wiring and I don't really want it to be visible on my electrical plan. What I can do is go to options, and then I can select visible items, and now I can go in and say I do not want electrical systems. Select OK, and now that'll disappear. It will still show up on my electrical plan, however. So while we are in the electrical plan, is I want to center the ceiling fan in this room. Okay, so to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a single extension from here coming out. This is something I can basically, remember I'm still going to go from the center of object. It's going to default to that. I want this distance to be equal to that distance, and this equal. So now what I'm going to do is dimension between the extension line and the wall. So I've found that it helps to zoom in. So select this wall to there. Now I'm going to select from here. Oops. Let's go to that thing. So let's from here to there. So see how it's not quite selecting it for me? I wish it were a little easier. Let's try it again. But if you just miss that extension line, it kind of fights you. So making this distance equal to, or centering this ceiling fan is pretty easy because it was 12 feet wide. So I'm just going to double click that one and say I want it to be 6 feet. Let's move the ceiling fan to the left. I also want to even this out, and this was a little bit tougher, so I'm going to put a dimension in real quick because I don't remember exactly what this is. So that's 22 feet 3 inches. So you can do the math. It would be 11 foot 1.5. So I can type that in. There's also a calculator tool right here. The calculator can be a little bit of a pain. It's easier to just do on your own. So what I'm going to say is it would be 11 feet 1.5 inches. Click OK. And now I have that centered. The next thing we're going to do is put in some notes. So let's go to Overview, Note, and sorry, we're going to go back to drawing first. But what I'm going to do is put in some notes. So I'm going to label these rooms. So Notes, Overview, select where I want my note to be. So I want to do, this is going to be bedroom 1. And you can underline. I'm going to underline it. Select OK, and it puts that in there for me. Another simple thing I can do is do speed notes, and I can search real quick. I want to put in kitchen, and there's kitchen, and I can put kitchen right here. I can go back in and move these, but another speed note is it's going to be living room. So I'm going to type in living room. I don't know that it's any quicker at this point, but it's just something in the future you may want to use. So the next thing we're going to do is put in some stairs real quick. So I'm going to say I want to put in a stair, and I just want a straight square or stairs without a landing in the middle. Select OK. I'm going to put those in right here, and I'm going to double click to edit these. First thing we want to do is we're going to make our stairs 8 feet. Sorry, so that the rise is going to be 8 feet 7.625. Okay, so that's how tall my stairs are going to be. The run or the tread depth is going to be, sorry, let's make the stair width 3 feet 6 inches. Let's make the tread depth 10 inches. And then we'll just select OK. So it's going to make our stairs a little bit bigger. So this is a good time to check those in 3D mode. Last thing we're going to do is put a reference point in real quick. So we're going to draw, we're going to select reference, reference circle, and we're going to put a reference circle right here in the corner. What this is going to allow us to do is to stack our next floor on top of this one. So I'm going to save this real quick. I'm also going to make a copy of this and call it the basement plan. So I'm going to do File, I'm going to do another Save as, and call it basement plan. Hit save.